Welcome back. So this is going to be the last lesson in our unit on point of view. And we are going to talk about how to decide which point of view to use. Okay, I want to pause for a moment because something has been bugging me as I've done these lessons. And it's the way we use the term point of view. So we've talked about it mostly as it pertains to first, second, and third limited omniscient point of view. However, we also used it in the head hopping unit where we discussed which character's point of view we were in. And everything I've read out there, those are the terms they use. But I find that a little bit confusing because they're different. So from here on out, let's refer to whose head we're in, whose eyes we're viewing the story as our character's perspective instead of point of view. They're the same thing, but just for clarification of what we're talking about, let's do that. So we have character perspective, and then we have first, second, or third point of view. And the reason I can't talk tonight, the reason I wanted to differentiate between these two is because I want to touch on both of them today as we kind of wrap up this unit and talk about how to choose which one might be best for you in your story. Okay, so when it comes to which character's perspective you should write in, the answer is simple. Always write from the character who has the most to lose in that scene or chapter. Most books, well, a lot of books only have one character perspective. So figure out in the entire story who has the most to lose. Whose character arc are you following? And that's the perspective you use. But a lot of books have multiple character perspectives. And so in that case, for each scene that's taking place, you need to ask who has the most to lose? Who has the most to lose? Whose stakes are the highest in that particular event or situation? Okay, so here's a little challenge for you. Take a look at your current work in progress and see if you can find a scene that just feels flat to you, one that you can't get right no matter how much you try to rewrite it. Perhaps you should try to write it from someone else's perspective. So if you do this challenge, why don't you come back and share with us what you learned from the experience? Okay, now on to first or third perspective. A lot of times, this is simply a matter of choice for the writer. What are you the most comfortable doing? As long as you choose one and stick with it, you'll most likely be fine. However, there are some things you might want to consider in addition to what's easiest for you. Okay, so first of all, think about your genre. We're always supposed to keep our target audience in mind, so ask yourself, what do readers in your genre expect? For instance, young adult and literary novels are almost always written in some form of first-person POV. But fantasy, action, science fiction, a lot of times those are written in third-person point of view. And this is because these points of view best serve the needs of that genre. So though there are certainly famous exceptions in all of them, there are kind of standards for each genre. And if you're unsure what point of view you should choose, look at your bookshelf. Flip through some of your favorite books in your novel genre and see what point of view they're written in. Are they first? Are they third? Are they close? Are they pulled back? Okay, second, continuing to think about your reader. Consider how you want your reader to experience your story. The point of view you choose will affect this. So do you want them to be a part of the action, experience it as if they were living the story? Then choose first person. Do you want them to read it like they're watching a movie, slightly pulled back from the emotion of it? Choose third person. That allows you to kind of see the bigger picture. Okay, the third thing. What's the strength behind your story? Is your story more about the character or their world in general? First person point of view will revolve almost entirely around your character and their experiences. This means it works best when the character the reader is experiencing the story through is likable, or at least compelling enough to stick around for. First person point of view requires you to write very strong characters as a result. So if this is one of your strengths, writing in first person will come more naturally to you. But these strong characters are going to help your reader get to see every aspect of their thoughts and personalities. Okay, third person allows you to let your story's plot, its action, and the world building take center stage. So think about those things. If those are some of your stronger skill sets, the action scenes or your world building, then third person might be better for you. This is also why it's more popular in fantasy and science fiction, because those worlds are very much about world building and all these different things. And remember, third person will allow the reader to know things that the character cannot know. So third person is also great for creating irony or suspense, because your reader can see things that your main character has no idea. Okay, and finally, number 4, when it comes down to it, trust your gut. What? Seriously. If those first 3 things don't help you decide whether to use first or third person, then stop, close your eyes, and envision your story. How do you see it? Are you looking through a character's eyes, or are you seeing the landscape and unfolding story as a whole? In the end, this may be the biggest clue to how you should choose your point of view. And remember, there really isn't a set right or wrong way to do it. You just have to figure out what works best for you, what works best for your story, and you may find that you write one story in first person and another story in third person. I have done both. So, take the time to think about what's right for you and your story and how your reader will experience your story based on your choice. Until the next time. So this is the last lesson, and next week we're going to dig into character development, so get ready for that. But until then, keep writing or start writing.